Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 207 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who is with me tonight?
I am Joe Butler, and I would die for my pet chicken Clucky.
That was good.
And I'm the writer of the Call of the Cthulhu, Vincent Goodwin. And that's
welcome.
True,
and this was all your idea, actually.
Yeah. Well, I am the writer of Call of Cthulhu. You can look it up on Amazon. Vincent Goodwin, Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, so you weren't kidding. Okay.
No, I actually did write. I wrote a comic book adaptation.
Nice, man.
And 1,000 years from now, no one will know who wrote it, a racist or me. So there we go. I apologize if my daughter's picking up.
She is. It's okay. You entered her world.
She's supposed to be sleeping tonight, but you know how Cthulhu and 4-year-olds are. You know, they don't always sleep peacefully.
Oh, that's the change as you get older. Sleep is like, oh my fucking god, I get to sleep. But when you're young, you're at the end of the world.
I know. I gotta go destroy the world. Revenge.
If somebody wants to put me to sleep, I'm like, okay, I'll go sleepy. That's fine. My son was the same way when he was little. He's like, sleep now, murder. So, we are here. Oh, and Merry Christmas! Because when you're hearing this, if you listen to the day it drops or close to it, Christmas has just happened because this is going to be dropping on Christmas. So on that Sunday night, and we're all tired of Christmas and tired of Christmas music, and yeah, you get to hear this. But so we are here to talk about Cthulhu Saves Christmas. Came out in December 23rd, 2019, and developed and published by Zeboyd Digital Entertainment. Guys that made Cosmic Star Heroine, which we covered on the show at some point. So many episodes ago. So this was never on my radar. I had no interest, didn't give a shit about this. And we played Cosmic Star Heroine, and Vincent was like, well, I don't want to make that, but I'll do Cthulhu Saves Christmas. And I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I played Cthulhu Saves Christmas when it came out on the Switch about 2 years ago. And I followed Robert Boyd, who's the founder of Zeboyd Games, on Twitter for years, ever since he appeared on one of Kat Bailey's podcasts. She interviewed him probably when Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death came out. Those were like Xbox Live indie games, not even XBLA, but like they had an extra little area, XBLIG. And he made a couple games, and I don't think they sold very well, but like right when Steam was becoming big, he put those two games out there for like a cheap bundle, and they very much feel like Dragon Quest games. So I've just followed him ever since, and he did like the second two Penny Arcade games, because Penny Arcade had like 4 arcade games. They did 3 and 4, which I think had like a Grandia style battle system, and they had the Kickstarter for Cosmic Star Heroine, which I know y'all have covered, I was like, and it's a bit long, and I remember him tweeting like, "Do y'all want another like 25-hour game, or would y'all be more interested in like a short game?" And I'm like, short game on Twitter, because I'm like, I just want like I like, especially with like classic RPGs, like I like Cosmic Star Heroine, but I don't have much time to play video games, like not 25 hours worth of a video game or however long Cosmic Star Heroine is. And it would take me like, that would be my one game for the entire month of the year, would just be doing that. And like a 5-6 hour game, that sounds great. It's a weekend. Perfect. And I like seasonal games just because there aren't many Christmas video games. And so he came out with this short little, 5 to 7 hour, tiny little turn-based RPG that has great little battle mechanic. You're in, you're out, you're in a weekend, and it feels like Christmas. And it's actually like weirdly like a game I'll come back to around Christmas time. So I think they just came out with another game, but I don't know if it's short or long. That's I've been following them forever on Twitter.
No, this is their last game they made so far.
Okay, cool. Because I feel like it's been like 3 years then. I wonder where their next game is. It's like a Magic Arcana game. But
they haven't released anything else yet. No, I mean, I had no interest in this. It's an RPG.
Yeah, it's a turn-based RPG, but I think like just generically it does like a lot of really smart things with its battle system. And I think Zeboyd Games, Robert Boyd and another guy, I'm not exactly sure his name off the top of my head, they like to play around with battle systems. Like I know the Penny Arcade games like had Grandia's battle system. This one is exactly Cosmic Star Heroines, which I really like because it basically gives you like 8 moves. And if I'm like playing Pokemon or any other turn-based RPG, I've got like my 3 moves I like using, and that's it. And so this one was, you got 8 moves, but you can only use one of them, and then you have to use all the other ones before you're allowed to use another move. So then you come up with like really cool chains. It's just a really exciting way to like play with just a standard turn-based battle system. Keeps it a little more exciting, because that's always the challenge, I think, with like Dragon Quest. You're like, okay, this is the same thing over and over again. So I like it.
I like the same old over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. So, but I mean, this changes it up enough for me, and I think like the fact that it's shorter than Cosmic Star Heroine like works in its favor for me, because I'm in and out.
Yeah, you can. So, Joe, how long did it take you to beat this? I'm assuming it was very short, like in a day or two.
Oh yeah, I beat it. I think yesterday. I popped it in at like 4, and I beat it before I went to bed.
Yeah.
It gave me a couple hours, and I like always seeing games. Because like one of the things is I'm a big fan of like the Assassin's Creed games, but I also agree with enjoying to play shorter games because I beat Assassin's Creed Valhalla at like 100 hours, and I still have the DLC to play, and I have no intention of playing that anytime soon. And this was perfect for 3 to 4 hours, and also because we played Star whatever heroine, Cosmic Star Heroine. I like seeing like quality of life updates or doing something differently with switching to like a newer game. And this had a lot of different stuff. Some stuff I liked and some stuff I didn't like.
Okay, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I like Cosmic Star Heroine better, but this game was very fun for what it is, and it was kind of nice having a Christmas themed thing for December.
Right.
Like, it worked out for me. Like, I'm not a big Christmas guy. I like the holidays more than I don't work for FedEx anymore. It's weird how that worked. When I worked for FedEx, I fucking hated December. I'm like, fucking December. Now I'm like, I kind of enjoy it. I fucking hated it at FedEx. I mean, everyone works at FedEx. They understand. You're shipping anything. It's fucking terrible.
Yep.
But, I mean, I'm actually, like, I was in the mood. Like, I was in the mood. The music was, it was a very entertaining little RPG. I mean, I tried playing this on normal for a good chunk of the game, and I think I was about more than halfway done when I ran into one of the bosses that was giving me trouble, and I just said, fuck it, put it on easy and just played it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I honestly have no idea if it's really that different. And it's one of those games where you can change your difficulty, at any time. And I definitely, my first playthrough when I played it 2 years ago, I started on normal, and then everybody just got real spongy. Like they just took way too many hit points to kill, so I just took it down to easy, which I think just knocks down the hit points by like half or something. It doesn't really do anything else. And then this second playthrough, I played on normal, which was fine up until near the end where everything got real spongy. But yeah, I mean, like I like that aspect of it, and I don't think you miss anything like story wise, mechanics wise.
No,
I mean, because at the end of the day, it's a dumb turn based RPG. Cthulhu is going to come in, say some jokes. Christmas is going to happen. It's going to do a lot of things, which we'll get into, and then you're out. It's meant to be because it's Christmas time. You can't have a game that's 100 hours long. Like Dead Rising 4 would not work. That's the Christmas one. Because I always start Dead Rising 4 like around like December, and I'm like, I never finish this shit because it takes too long to finish. And this one's fine. Like I'm in. And, yeah.
It's fine. The game's bad. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I like Dead Rising. I for the weeks before Christmas, I'm like, it's fun to run around and hit people with like a wreath and a candy cane. And then by like December 26th, I'm like, this is lame. I don't want to deal with it.
It's I mean, that's how I've been with Christmas too. Like I like Christmas music 1 day a week, or not 1 day a week, 1 day a year. Christmas Day, I don't want to hear it any other day.
Right.
But that's also working in retail where you hear it for 2 months straight, and as you're being strangled to death by the workload, and the moment Christmas is over, depending on your job, if you're part time, fuck you, get out of here now. Like we're done.
I know
like,
we have Trans-Siberian Orchestra coming to us like on December 29th, and I'm like, why? Why would I go do that? This is my Trans-Siberian Orchestra Type 5 of my stand-up comedy.
Well, no, I mean, it's just that you get out of the mood. Like, I mean, when I worked in retail, like I'll never forget, I was part-time working at a Target, and it was Christmas time. I'm working, and they're like, and then it was like January, and all of a sudden they cut my hour, and the guy's like, well, yeah, they do that every year. I'm like, well, he's like, you got to save for it. I'm like, I think to myself, I'm making $7 an hour. What am I supposed to save? Like, come on now.
Right. I know.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh yeah, it was Target back in like 2008. It was shitty. So yeah, wait. But no, like this game, like it has a lot of the concept of like Cosmic Star Heroine. But in this one you only get 4 characters, and you keep the 4 characters. One is Cthulhu. The whole idea is that Cthulhu gets a gift from the League of God, what the hell they call it? The League of Evil. It has to be a joke on Scott Pilgrim, League of Evil X's.
Yeah, or extra
something like that.
That's all I got. I mean, I kept getting like, I even sent pictures to Mike. I'm like, Scott Pilgrim references friend of the show, because I fucking love Scott Pilgrim. Like that's how it felt. Like, oh well, you got to go get the members of the. I'm like he's like, there's 5 members left. I'm like, yeah, this is 100% Scott Pilgrim.
And they keep changing the number up. Is that supposed to be a joke on how many bosses are left, or there's a game? Okay,
because there's more than, because it tricks you when you think there's only 7, and surprise, there's more.
One more.
Yeah.
I think that I understand it was a joke and stuff, but man, I'm like, I'm done with this game. You told me there were 7 bosses. And then like the 7th boss revealed his true form. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, that's the joke, right? And it's like, no, another hour of gameplay. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
I was starting to break down in that last hour or two. Like the whole idea is he gets the present. It takes away Cthulhu's power. So Cthulhu has to go rescue Santa in order to get his powers back.
Dumb. Perfect. Works it. Yeah, he's going to get Santa. He's going to save Santa, gives Christmas powers back. I love it. Perfect.
I never played the original Cthulhu game, so I didn't really. I didn't get some of the references, but this is thankfully a prequel, so it's not that weird.
I just bought the game actually for $3 on Steam in a pack with both of them.
Right.
Because I'm going to cover those now at some point. So
yeah, Cthulhu Saves the World is rougher. It's also like 10 years earlier that he made it, and his art has definitely improved significantly. Zboid Games' art has definitely improved. That one's battle mechanics are very, very similar, or not very similar.
They're like Dragon Warrior stuff.
Yeah, it's a Dragon Warrior turn-based RPG, but it does have some of the same mechanics that I think Cosmic Star Heroine had, where it's like 15 battles or something per area, and then it just stops giving you random battles.
Cosmic Star Heroine did not have that. The enemy spawn.
Oh, really?
You would see the enemy run into them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is unique where this game has a counter. And once you do X amount of battles, or you can skip the battles altogether, and when the exclamation mark comes up over your head, you just press a button and you skip fights.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an Undertale reference.
Huh. I've never played Undertale for some reason.
You would love Undertale, Mike.
No idea why I've never played it to this day. No idea.
It's a cheap game, but yeah, on the violence, because you can do 2 different paths. On the violence one, you can scan for enemies, and at a certain point, it'll tell you, there's only like 5 or 10 enemies left, and once you hit the 0 marker, there's no more enemies, period. Like you quit leveling up and everything.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, which is cool because I know so that's an Undertale. Also, I do know it's in the original Cthulhu game, which predates Undertale, because that game got real mazy, like some of the classic Final Fantasies and RPGs of that era did. Where it's like, I'm trying to find a fucking treasure chest. I don't want to keep going to random battles, and so it just cuts you off. It's like, yeah, you had enough. You've leveled up enough. You can go. You can do more if you want to, but you can stop also, which is really cool.
So I'm buying their new game, which is This Way Madness Lies, which is a Shakespeare-themed magical girl JRPG, and that sounds like the fucking coolest thing I've ever heard of.
That sounds cool. I saw another Shakespeare game recently that I bought for like $1 called To Be or Not to Be, and it's all like just like a choose your own adventure where Hamlet just gets more and more off the rails because you get 2 different choices, and then it just spirals out of control.
So this game was like, this game is cheap. I know I got on sale at some point for a couple bucks on Steam, but again, it's the perfect December game to just play. And besides Cthulhu, you have 3 other characters. One is Baba Yaga, which I only know who that is because of Rise of the Tomb Raider. We talked about
her. The same.
I don't know who the other 2 were.
Belschnickel was in something recently that I just saw, and I don't remember what it was, but I'm like, hey, he's from that Cthulhu game.
I'm guessing they're both like myth type thing. I'm assuming Belschnickel is like Santa Claus.
He's like some scary Eastern European guy, like how, I know that like Sinterklaas from the Netherlands kidnaps children if they're bad and takes them to Spain.
He is a crotchety, fur-clad Christmas gift-bringer figure in the folklore of the Palatine region of southwestern Germany along the Rhine.
Yeah. And then I don't know about Crystal Claus. I don't know I think that's just his daughter. I'm not sure if she's actually canonical or if she's just
granddaughter.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, granddaughter.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just, I like that they did that though. I like, and like all the enemies you fight are also like stuff based on, different things.
Right. Yeah, this is what these games are. It's, it's turn based. You're going to walk around and, push some menus, and it gives but you're walking around with Christmas trees. You're fighting like Jack Frost and the Ghost of Christmas Past. It's real.
Oh, and Crystal, if you search Crystal Claus, you get a phone number and an email address and an Etsy store. So I got no idea other than what it is.
Yeah, don't call that number. Don't call that number, Mike.
I'm not going to, but I
don't give them your credit card number.
They have real bearded Santas, they say.
Okay, ooh, well then I'll give them my credit card number. That's
so other than that, but I like it that it's stuff from Christmas myths. Like that was cool to me. Like the first boss is Jack Frost. I thought that was amusing.
Right.
He also has a Persona reference.
There's a lot of Persona in this.
A lot of everything in this.
I know. It's very cute.
Yeah, where Mike just made a joke about like buying the game on sale. The game actually makes fun of you if you bought it. If you're like saying like, oh, I wouldn't worry about even the person getting past tutorial. They probably just bought this off one of those mad bundle games that everyone
fanatical,
sells.
essentially.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely how I got their previous game, which I think they make a reference to that. It's like, I haven't played that game. And you may have gotten it a bundle. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. It's just, and the Persona stuff. So you have like your little worlds. He goes and fights Jack Frost and you pick up your things. And then in between, you go to like this town segment where you develop social links, just like Persona.
Yes.
I have a friend who's never played Persona. I gave him Persona 5 for Christmas, and he's trying to psych himself up to play it. But he has played Cthulhu Saves Christmas, and I'm like, those parts where you go into town and Cthulhu, that's riffing on Persona. So I was trying to explain Persona to him through the lens of this game, which is I don't think the way you're supposed to do it. But yeah, you go and you're like, I went to the beach with Crystal, and then we got like a wand for her or some bullshit. It's far less stressful to me than how Persona is. But yeah,
Vincent, I bought myself Persona 5 for Christmas, and I'm trying to hype myself up to play it, so I totally get it. It's okay.
Oh my god, it's an undertaking. I'm like, do I really want this to be like my game for 8 months?
It'll be your game for a year. What are we talking about?
I know, right? I'll be playing in real time.
I beat Persona 4 once. I know Mike is starting Persona 5 next year. He's gonna make himself do it for backlog bingo thing he does. But I wish you luck if you guys try it too. But yeah, no, I like the idea that because Santa's missing, Christmas just keeps going and it doesn't end. So every day is the day before Christmas, and you go and other stuff in towns, and there's certain things you'll miss out on if you don't ever do them. Like you can miss out on some items. Like it was cool, and like you could build social link with your characters where you keep visiting them on the off break in between dungeons, and they get better items, and they'll get you get an achievement for making friends with them at the end. Like I really enjoyed that stuff.
Did you go to the post office ever?
I think once, but it was weird. I didn't want to go there. It's almost as if I know what that's like around Christmas time.
Yeah, the both times I went, the both times I went is just jokes of, wow, working at the post office sucks during Christmas. So.
It does. I've been there because every so often when I worked at FedEx, somebody would take a damn USPS package or some shit. So every so often, like, okay, I guess I'll go drop it off. So I have to go there and be like, here, take this damn thing that we shouldn't have taken. Get rid of it, please. So yes, I understand. USPS is not fun in Christmas time. So, and hey, no shipping fun in Christmas time. It's fucking miserable.
So, one thing I know a lot of people, because it's an RPG and anything, I give these guys like complete merits because I played Cosmic Star Heroine and this. The dialogue for these games are just fucking funny. Like it's just grade A written dialogue, especially like I'm pretty sure if you've only gonna play it once, you can always compare with other people who've played it. Because like just the goofy dialogue of like I think I went to I can't say his name, the guy in your group.
Belsnickel?
Yeah, Belsnickel. And you go and like Cthulhu's like, oh, he's like, yeah, look, I just throw candy on the ground, and he tries to get it and he just whips Cthulhu like 50 fucking times.
I like that part. It was creative enough. Like the dialogue, like you were saying, is fucking hilarious throughout the entire game. Like all the jokes, Cthulhu's like, why do I want to save him? I want to destroy the world. I don't want to save Santa. Like it's all hilarious because it's completely against, I guess, what Cthulhu would whatever, because he's a elder god. I don't even know. I've never read any of the H.P. Lovecraft stuff.
Oh, you can read the Vincent Goodwin. You can read the Vincent Goodwin called Cthulhu novel. You can always read that one.
Hey, at least I know you're not a racist shitbag from the 1800s. So hey, you got that going for you.
Yeah, just from the 1800s, not a racist shit. But yes.
But no, I know H.P. Lovecraft, for those that don't know, he was not a good... I mean, yes, he was in the 1800s, but he's not a good guy, by the way. Not a good person.
He was the J.K. Rowling of his time.
Oh, God, don't say that.
It's not wrong. If you ever look up like stuff about him, oh yeah, he's a shitty person. I mean, he's dead now, been dead for many years, but he's a shitty person, so... Unfortunately, J.K. Rowling is a shitty person too, and yeah, so that's another thing.
I think that's how you appeal to the Gen Zs. You make fun of Harry Potter and transphobes.
Hey.
Boost those numbers. But Jesus. The jokes are just hilarious. Like Cthulhu's funny. I like Baba Yaga. She's just I own chickens, and she's just chicken pun the whole
fucking
time.
Hilarious, though.
Yeah. Did Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, did it have the chicken house? I know it was like the part where you got to hide, right?
You're hallucinating. Yes.
Okay.
There's a chicken houses in there.
It's a house on chicken legs.
Yes, but you find out that it's actually because you're just drugged up off your ass, and it's something else. But yes.
Wait, what Tomb Raider game is that? Is that an old one?
No, Rise of
the
the Raiders, the
second of the new ones.
really good. Actually, we covered it on the show. I don't remember what episode, but really good game, by the way. I highly recommend that whole trilogy.
I think it was DLC. I think
It is DLC. But if you are like me and buy and grab every Epic game for free, you have it for free from one of the previous years.
Yeah, and if you haven't been, Epic's been giving away, and now it's Christmas, obviously, but Epic's been giving away one of their free games a day, so that might pop up again. I feel like that they did that last year, so
I think it did pop up this year.
I want other free stuff, but it was a great free deal for a day. Like great games, highly recommend anyone play them. But like, another thing of this game, make this game different. I think Vincent brought up is you have your 4 abilities you can choose, and you have 3 abilities that the computer changes every turn. Or not every turn, but every time that you rest and refresh your abilities, you get new abilities that are random that you can use from the characters, which gets you to do things you would. And it changes up combat. You have to do things you wouldn't normally do. So I played a lot differently because normally in an RPG like Cthulhu or Heroin, for example, I had my go-to abilities and I did my go-to thing every single turn. And this game made me actually have to play a little differently for a change.
Right, because I'm like, okay, hell yeah, we're just gonna poison. Every time I get like the poison, everybody poison move from Cthulhu, like on my first move, I'm like, hell yeah. It's gonna be an easy battle. So, but I couldn't rely on that every time. And then, but yeah, it does change up the way you play. It changes up your like style because I have like go-to moves in like ways. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buff on this move, and then I'm gonna do this, and I can't do that, so I have to be a little more sneaky in how I do things, which I think is fun and interesting. And then, but then at the same time, like it also has these like hyper moves that I never really got the handle on. It's like every like 2 or 3 moves, then the moves change. Like sometimes instead of just targeting one person, they're target more powerful. Everybody.
The idea is that you're supposed to save a move that you want to use against your enemy when it comes to your hyper turn.
Which I wasn't tracking visually well enough.
Okay, there's little squares that fill up each turn.
I saw that, but I think like Cthulhu's like meter changed. Like it was only 2 for the first round. Like first time it came around, it was only like two turns, and then it was like 3 or 4 turns, and I was not like following it between my.
Yeah, it's characters. 2 turns for him when it starts, and then it's 3 or 4 turns after that, and then some characters start with it like immediately. That's just a Constant Star Heroine thing too. They kept.
Yeah,
I liked it.
It's cool. I didn't track it well enough to take advantage of it as much as I could.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't get was the whole chicken thing with Baba Yaga. I could never figure out how to fucking actually get that going.
Because it would be like one move, 25% chicken. I'm like, I don't know what happens at 100% chicken. I could never figure out.
No idea. I would just randomly do it when I'm like, I don't know what to do with Baba Yaga. I'll just do chicken thing. Okay, whatever.
I'm probably wrong. I think it's like 100% chicken. If you're at 100% chicken, your attacks are doubled, and if you're at 200% chicken, your attacks are quadrupled. Probably. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Something like that.
It didn't affect my ability to destroy this game, and I'm not good at video games. So, but okay, that makes sense. I just like I and I know the game communicated it to me, but I just didn't. I didn't see the need to use it, so I didn't really engage with that.
No, you don't need. And on easy, you don't need to. Like on easy, the one thing nice about this game, you don't need to do nothing. You can just play, enjoy yourself, laugh at the dialogue, fight the bosses, laugh at what you're fighting, and just enjoy yourself because it doesn't. There's no challenge. I mean, if you play this on normal, there's a challenge. I got my ass handed to me on normal. I feel like I'm a pretty good RPG player, and I got my ass handed to me a couple times. I'm like, this ain't cool.
Yeah, that's how my first gameplay playthrough was, and I feel like as it got later, like you guys, like I just do not have the endurance to be able to survive this entire battle. That was the other cool thing about this, and I think Cosmic Star Heroine did this too, where you completely heal after every battle, right? Yes, which is just, I think, a really cool mechanic. I feel like a Final Fantasy one of those did that recently too. But like, it just makes it so it's just like throw everything, use all the consumables because they're going to regen at the end of the next battle. And so it just became, it made me much more willing to try everything rather than be like super precious with my best moves or my consumables. Knowing that they would be replenished at the end of the next round, or being fine with going down to 1 HP and not having to like, oh, well, shit, I'm going to get fucked next turn. Like that kind of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, and there's some abilities that you could work with it, like, some where they're more powerful, they don't have any HP that you might just happen to have in your repertoire that turn from when you healed. Like, I mean, or if you get really shitty abilities, you can just do the rest thing and then get new abilities next turn.
Right.
If you don't like anything you have. But it's a fun battle system. I'm trying to think of some of the bosses. I know you fight a bunch of elves, or not the elves at one point that went on strike because they're tired of Santa, so they joined some
Yeah, because he's
cat
a
or
capitalist piggy.
That was fucking funny. I like that theme on stuff I've been covering lately where rich people are bad. There's been a couple games that we've done that and stuff
Yeah, I
I've
just
done.
watched the Arthur Christmas movie, which I don't know if you've seen. It's from the Aardman, like Wallace and Gromit people, and it's about like an absolute like just like checked out Santa, and I'm like, when did this happen? And like his son is like this like tech bro, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's gonna take over the Santa thing. I'm like, what's the moral here? Because Arthur Christmas is about the son of Santa Claus, the good son that really cares about the children. Because the current Santa doesn't care about children anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck message is this giving to kids? It's a great ass movie. Don't get me wrong. And it's like, yeah, the fucking old capitalists suck. Rich people suck. And they just, but I'm like, I don't know if my children should be watching. Like, yeah, Santa abdicates. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Only you got to find somebody who actually does care that's in the system.
Santa
we were
doesn't
watching
shit.
Batman Returns. Everybody and like Max Shrek is just a bad rich person, like a terrible rich person.
Yeah, that's a weird movie. I'm not allowed back on Chris Dobson's Your Stupid Minds podcast because I went too hard on that movie and now it's not good. So I'm not allowed back there.
Not a good movie. But
really? Yeah, we all.
I mean, like, I know you fight two giant bells at one point in this, which I thought was cool. Like the whole, you just fight a lot of weird bosses. And I feel like everything probably fits somewhere in Christmas myth. I'm assuming.
Well, and then you get to the final boss there is like Krampus.
Yes,
the fake final boss. And like, I do know this one. I do know Krampus.
There's a movie called Krampus, and I have Funko Pops of Krampus because of my wife. Yeah, my wife got
Adam Scott, right? Adam Scott's in that.
I never saw the movie. I just have. She got into like the Funko Pops of Krampus and bought a whole bunch of different ones ahead of him.
Cool.
So they're somewhere in this house.
Yeah,
so you fight Krampus, and then after you fight Krampus at the very end, not the very end. Then you fight some Cthulhu monster who was not in my novel. I'll tell you that. So he must be in a sequel that I didn't write or adapt.
Well, I mean, there's so much. Like Cthulhu has really grown into so much of a fiction for people. I mean, there's a bunch of different Cthulhu games on Steam that I've been looking at every so often. And go, I wonder if this is any fun. If I ever actually tried them, but it's such a property that also means nothing to me. Like a friend of the show who's on the show quite often, Richard Sampson. He kept saying, like, Cthulhu wouldn't save Christmas. He's like, Cthulhu's a freaking elder god. I'm like, yeah, play the game. That's what I told him. But, like, it's a cool idea. I mean, to me, I know nothing about Cthulhu. I know nothing about, like, I'm assuming that monster you fight is something from the Cthulhu legend or from, H.P. Lovecraft.
Legend, yeah.
Something from that world, like that idea of what, Lovecraft created. And to me, I'm like, but hey, I gotta say, I actually took a video of it. I never thought it was they had a Christmas song, like a metal version of a Christmas song playing in the background while you fight this boss.
Oh, cool.
If you have the music on, and it was something it was a song I knew from car commercials. Like
awesome. Like those like a metal Carol of the Bells. Cool.
Yeah, it was okay. That's what. Yeah, it was just like, and the only reason I even knew that song is I remember dumbass car commercial I used to have to watch when I'm like trying to watch my TV, and I'm like, okay, this is amusing.
That's my wife's favorite Christmas song is Carol of the Bells. She loves the like London Boys Choir version of it, with the ding dong. And so I got her like the Destiny's Child version because I'm like, she loves Beyonce, and the Destiny's Child version from like 2000 does not hit. It's not very good. I want to say it's also like when Kevin gets ready in Home Alone. Like he gets like his dinner ready and lays all the traps. I think Carol of the Bells is also playing.
Home Alone 2.
Yeah. But it's something that would never mean anything to me, but it worked in this set. Because I don't give a shit about, I don't really care Christmas. But
yeah. I mean, I just like it in the sense that like I'm walking around and all my environments have little Christmas lights in their trees instead of not. And that's all I need to just be like.
No, and it's very amusing stuff that you go to. You fight like a giant like demon type boss for one point, like that eats kids or something. I don't remember what it was supposed to be of. You have a ghost place that you go to fight somebody.
You fight in Santa's workshop, I think, with the elves.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool like just Christmassy levels, and I'm like, this is fun. Like this is like it's like Costume Quest. You ever played that?
Yeah,
that's an RPG you can only play one day a year or 1 month a year because it's Halloween theme. Not even horror, just trick or treat Halloween theme. It only works if you play it that one time.
And it's also only like 7 hours long. I played that this year on my Steam Deck also. Yeah, that's a delightful game. Just a nice seasonal game like that. I think there's a Costume Quest Christmas themed Like
Yes,
Grubbin's
the
on
DLC.
Ice DLC, but I haven't played it yet.
It came out right when the game came out, like right after. Because I remember I played the game when it came out, or maybe a year after. But I never played the DLC either. I think I have.
I don't think I have time. Well, obviously you don't have time because it's Christmas Day. Unless we get in a time paradox where it's Christmas Eve at forever.
That wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, what
I don't
is
work
this game?
shipping anymore. I'd be okay.
What does this game get to, like 60 days or something, or 50?
I think so. Yeah,
It's something like it's a lot.
right.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I
like that too.
I like the idea that it's Groundhog Day and it never ends.
Oh, and we didn't even say the joke of like instead the social links are called the relationships. I don't know how to pronounce it because it's a chthonic tongue that's not supposed to be heard by man. But whatever the Ryleth or whatever, the R apostrophe Y LETH in ships. It's a very dumb joke. But you put it on the back of the box, you're like, this game knows what's up. This is stupid. And I think that's the thing is you have to be you can't like take any Lovecraftian thing like seriously or be scared of it to enjoy this game. You have to be like, yeah, I'm absolutely going to make fun of this. Like this is
it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's very tongue in cheek, and I take screen grabs and I think Joe, you sent us like screen grabs like this game is stupid and it's hilarious. Which I don't really get out of a lot of video games other than like Yakuza. Just taking screenshots out of context and being like this game. I think there was one part where like there was like a reindeer that was maimed and Cthulhu was like, I don't save NPCs.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, this is exactly the game that I want.
That was funny though with the reindeer where you just let them die essentially, I think, or you could save. I can't remember, but just funny shit but it worked. It works well for what it is.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a game that I also played this on a Steam Deck. One thing I do want to say since I have Vincent with me is Vincent's actually the reason I bought a Steam Deck.
Yes.
Well, you helped push me in the right direction because I was like, I don't know. And you're like, hey, buy a memory card. You get a 1 terabyte memory card, you put it in, you'll be good to go. He's like, I'm playing this. He's like, I love it. And I was like, okay. And then it got ordered.
Yeah. The Steam Deck is really... What'd you say, Joe?
So I wish I had a Steam Deck.
They're nice, man.
So nice.
You just got VR instead. So I don't know. That's a different experience. Steam Deck's the same experience, it's just handheld.
Yeah, I mean, the Steam Deck is. I mean, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Nintendo player, but I feel like I'm in the exact same place where I was with like the Wii. 5 years into the Wii, where I'm like, these Steam games, they're cheaper and they just look better. And like I'm like looking at all these things, I'm like, oh, like Persona's coming out, finally for the Switch, finally after the Switch being 6 years out. And I'm like, the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters just got like announced, and I'm like, yeah, but they're gonna look a little nicer on the Steam Deck and be cheaper. Why would I buy them on the Switch now? If you called me a year ago, I would have absolutely been on this. Now every indie game I just want to play on my Steam Deck. It's too late now for the Switch.
Yeah,
until Switch
Steam
2.
Deck's fucking amazing.
It's so. And I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey of the Greece one on this thing, and it's been so nice. So someday I'll get to Valhalla again.
Oh, that runs on the Steam Deck? Ooh.
Yeah, it does.
Fucking Steam Deck. I mean, it's a powerhouse at times. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and I was playing this fucking on a Steam Deck, this indie game.
Yeah, I know. I beat it. I beat Cthulhu on my Switch, and then I rebought it on the Steam Deck to play it for this show to compare the differences. It's the exact same game, but
that's fine.
Except the B and A are switched. But that's either near here nor there.
And then,
but yeah,
like you were talking about earlier, after you beat Krampus, and you get the real final boss, which is like the Ghost of Christmas Future.
And this is where the game is like, and like I'm like, okay, now this is gonna take long. And then you go to like a whole new world, which is fine, and it's like just 15 enemies. But then suddenly everything is like super spongy on the HP. Like I timed it, like every single battle here took like 3 to 5 minutes for these 15 battles, because I was still playing on normal, which has like twice the HP of the easy. And I'm like, this game needs to be over. Which I'm glad it was only like a 7-hour game, because I feel like this is how like a lot of the RPGs I think
Vincent,
Mikey play on the show.
I have a question for you. Was it so this whole new world we were in? Was it a new fantastic point of view where no one could tell us no?
Yeah,
they only say we're only dreaming.
Pursue. Yeah, there was New Horizons to pursue. No one to
it was
tell
crystal
us
clear.
Where to go. I know.
It was a whole new world with you.
I wanted to share this whole new world with you.
All right, I had to make.
And I didn't dare close my eyes.
Okay, it's a Aladdin joke. I didn't get that first. Okay.
I was trying to do the Jasmine part, but Aladdin has like 3 verses before you get to the Jasmine part. But,
I love that song, by the way. I love that movie.
Banger. It's a banger. It's the best Disney movie of that era. But
I liked it. I like the chaotic type world that you're in where houses are destroyed, everybody's dead, and the boss can see the future too when you do fight him. Like I mean, I was a little annoyed that the game was still going, because I'm like, I was at that point where I'm like, I'm just ready to be done and move on.
Yeah, I mean, we played Minish Cap, I think at the beginning of this year, me and you, and that final dungeon was so long. I'm like, I'm done with this. And that dungeon just kept going. So that's kind of where I was here. And luckily, it was only a 7-hour game. I know people get this like with Final Fantasy like 12 and stuff. They're like, all right, I'm near the end. And then like, JK, you've got another 10 hours left. And I don't think I can handle that. So this is thankfully pretty short.
I also think I know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, but I will have to admit that the last world looks exactly like the last world from Cosmic Star Heroine, which I thought was really fucking weird.
Strange how that happened. Huh? I mean, they reuse assets. They reuse one of the bosses from Cosmic Star Heroine and say, "Hey, this guy got tired of the other game" in the description.
Right. That's why I'm surprised though that like there weren't more game. They didn't come out with another game for the last 3 years, because I feel like if Zeboyd or whatever just came out with a game like this for $5, $5 to $10 a year, I'd absolutely buy it. Like if they made a Cthulhu Saves Halloween, I would be like on board if it was this length and this type of style. So
same.
I'm surprised they have
make next. I wonder.
Well, they had that Shakespeare game, but that's why I was surprised, because I mean I know when he was on Twitter he was like, "Do y'all want short games or long games?" So I don't know how it performed. It did get a limited run game. I remember, I think for Switch, which is probably when it like got on my radar, because I completely missed it in 2019. Wasn't even aware of it until 2020. So there is a physical release of this game.
Oh, and you do fight a mouse and a mech from Nutcracker.
Yeah,
that was amusing too.
You also fight like what was the deer like a dead deer or something like that?
Yes, there was some dead deer. I don't remember what it was, but it was a dead deer.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I played this like over a week ago. I don't remember anything anymore. I'm watching the videos we're talking, but yeah, it was some kind of deer. I just know that in the end, when you fight the Ghost of Future, he brings back a bunch of the bosses you killed and make you fight them again.
But the joke is this game can only support 5 things at a time, and so there's 7 bosses, but there's just not going to be 2 of them in here.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm like, that's a funny joke. And that's that weird thing, like, you know, that I love that, like, that the first boss is only got the HP of like scrubs like 3 worlds later, which is kind of like how Castlevania is, where like the bat is a boss of first world, and then he's just like a normal enemy but still has the same HP like later in the game. I think that's such a cool like touch for some reason. Then I'm like, haha, I can murder all these dudes real quickly now that I'm super powerful. Yeah, I don't know why I love it.
I think with Ghost, if I remember right, there's some kind of little gimmick when you fight Christmas Future where you can't beat him at first, and the narrator has to come in and like help you or something, because he can see the future, so he can see what you're doing.
Right.
I can't remember now what the hell happens before that. Like, he's like, "I'll just kill you," but then the narrator kicks, because you have a narrator talking, which Cthulhu argues with throughout the game.
When the fight starts, he tries to land the hit on him and it doesn't, and the Ghost of Christmas Future is like, you can't beat me because I have the Sharon gun. And then the narrator basically says, I can just overload him and he won't be able to know which future he's looking at. And that's how the first boss fight starts. And then after you beat him, that's when he summons another different horror terror to fight you.
Oh, okay. No, it's just amusing. It really is. It's just a really comical, cute game.
Yep. I like it. I'm very happy with it. And again, I played this now twice, and I don't beat many video games, so I was very happy to play with it. I hope it was a good recommendation, Mike. I know it was, you know, there's not much to say about it, but, you know, if like you're looking for a fun Christmas game, you know, or a fun seasonal game, it's better than Dead Rising 4. Put that on the box. Gave my mom down, Joe.
I had an idea for a game, but I don't think Mike would have played it.
What's that?
The Devil May Cry knockoff Nightmare Before Christmas game.
Actually, I do really want to play that. Much as I don't like that movie, I really want to play that game.
PS2 or something?
Yes, PS2.
Yeah,
it's on my radar now, because I think it might have happened, but then this happened instead. So
that's fine. This is really cool. I might actually, as much as I don't, even though it's an older game, I might go back and play Cthulhu Saves the World, because this game had, like, I think one of the social links is a reference to another game, and then there's a lot of stuff in the game where it's like, we can't do that because we gotta wait for the actual game because it's a prequel. So
if you want to play it, we can do it. I'll play it with you and talk about it as a mini if you want to do it. So I bought it for $3 with Breath of Death for full price. $3 for both of them on
Breath of Death 7.
Yes. Which I actually own both Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death on the Xbox Indie thing many years ago, but I never got around to them. I think I tried it a little bit, but I just didn't stick with it. Because it was a different time then. I didn't stick with games as much as, like, because of this podcast, I will make myself stick with almost every single game I can. in general. I don't quit. Once I start a game, I finish it if I can. It takes a lot for me to do.
Cthulhu Saves the World, according to how long to beat, is only 7.5 to 10 hours. Okay, I thought it would have been like 20 something hours.
No, I mean there's still shorter RPGs. I mean but Cthulhu Saves Christmas was long enough. 4 hours was just enough. Like just enough. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It isn't as good as Cosmic Star Heroine, when it comes to abilities and what that game offered to me, but it's fun.
Yeah, I don't know if we were talking about this though. I don't like the setting of Cosmic Star Heroine. So I like the
future.
I don't like future. No, I tried to play like Disco Elysium, which I understand is supposed to be a very good game, but I just started playing about 20 minutes and I'm like, this is not the type of book I would read. This is not the type of movie I would watch. I don't like this type of genre, so I'm just not going to watch it. I'm just not going to engage with it.
It's got to be your
genre.
Cthulhu Saves Christmas works because it's a Christmas theme game that you play. You can only play once a year at a certain time.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like monsters, and I like making fun of Christmas, and I like that more than I like space stuff. So
yeah, I too like Cthulhu, so I also was, glad to be invited onto this podcast.
I was just surprised I got volunteers. So I was just like, hey, people else you want to go? Okay, cool, let's do this. Because this is not one that will be people are going to be searching for, but it's just something that it's all right. Well, plus, I always release on Sundays, and this Sunday falls on Christmas Day. So I'm like, gotta be a fucking Christmas episode.
Right.
So there are people who listen to the show right when it drops.
Hello.
So
Merry Christmas to you.
Go. When this is over, go buy Cthulhu Saves Christmas for $2 on GOG and then play it for yourself.
But you got to play it that day. So when you're hearing this at 6, 7 o'clock, depending on when Mike gets around to publishing it, Central Standard Time, if it's still Christmas, go get the game and play it. It's fun.
Go play it on your Steam Deck while you're waiting for Trans-Siberian Orchestra to warm up on December 29th. You're in Texas.
That would be fun. That's what's so great about Steam Deck. You can take it anywhere. A random thing that I'm going to mention anyway. I went to a play not too long ago, a Shadowcast of Labyrinth, and I didn't bring my Steam Deck because my wife would have been very upset with me. Would look like, what the fuck are you doing? But I watched a Shadowcast where they acted out the Labyrinth, low budget, while the movie plays on a projector next and behind them. It was fucking hilarious.
That's weird.
Awesome.
It was really good, actually. My wife loves Labyrinth, so I bought us tickets to it.
I cannot remember a single song title now. I just remember David Bowie with those pants. Yeah, that's the one. With the MC Escher staircase and the pants. It was a whole thing. I was very scared.
That was also one of the jokes in the play because they added extra bullets to his pants, so every time the actor comes on stage, we'll yell, "Those pants!" So it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, really? So did they go with that for the shadow thing?
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Yeah, it was really good.
Nice.
But no, I'm trying to think anything else I want to say about Cthulhu. I actually have a couple comments. Not many, but I have a couple comments. Anything else you guys want to say about Cthulhu Saves the World before we wrap up and go to comment?
No, I think it's a charming game. It's got a fun, novel little turn-based battle system. It's perfect for portable play because it's a classic style RPG with enough innovation in its battle mode, and then it gets in and gets out before it outstays its welcome, which I think is very important for a game of this style. So a big recommend for the season.
Anything you want to add, Joe?
I like the game. It was pretty good, and I think I'm becoming a fan of these really small indie games and RPGs, especially listening to this podcast. I also really want to play Ogre Tactics for some reason now, and Wise.
Yeah.
And I blame you for that. I think Vince, are you on the Wise and Ogre Tactics podcast?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I never covered Ogre Tactics. I've never played an Ogre Tactics game.
Who'd you cover Wise with?
Daniel Melman and Dominic.
Okay, because I was listening to that while I was playing. What was that game that we did after that? The Abe's Odyssey game, The Stranger's Wrath.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and I was more interested in Wise, the podcast, than the fucking game. So I was like, I might actually play that.
Wise 1 and 2 are good games. I just played Wise 2 that you won't hear.
Ease. Yeah, Ease, yeah. Wise, yeah. Ease, Oath and Felghana just got announced for Switch.
Remake.
Again, too little too late, but that game is a fucking revelation. That game rules. The PSP game. Yeah, and I think I was on the Games of 2002 episode here, and I think I made Tactics Ogre GBA was my game of the year for that episode. If not, it was in the top 3. Yeah. That's completely different. That's a long game. That was I think I played that before Fire Emblem came to America and it had permadeath. Wow, what a time.
Ogre Tactics have always been in my I love RPGs, so that's the reason I was excited that when you had mentioned this, because I'm always looking for more RPGs. I don't play them anymore because they're usually too fucking long and I don't have time.
Right. That's why I love Dragon Quest 1 or Dragon Warrior 1 for Game Boy Color, or the Super Famicom port that's got an English translation. Because Dragon Quest 1 it got shortened to like a third of the time. They sped it up to only like 7 hours. First Dragon Warrior, and it's just super smooth sailing. It's a lot like the Cthulhu Saves the World in that way. So those are very pleasant games. Dragon Warrior 1, Mike. Put that on the list. Super Famicom Edition or Game Boy Color.
I might have them.
Yes.
Just because I feel like I should do them. They should be in this show somewhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, some RPGs are just nice, and that's what this game was. It just, if it didn't have the theme, I don't think it would have worked as well either.
Mm-mm.
I think that theme, having the theme of Christmas, it really brought back memories of playing Costume Quest on Halloween one day.
Yeah.
Like it was nice. All right, I'm gonna see what I pull up. I have a couple comments I want to read from people. Don't have a lot because from what we're talking about. First one, I watched the entire OLED Super Replay. I got 2. First from Henry Chan. I remember playing Cthulhu Saves the World on my Xbox 360 way back when, but I never touched this one. From what I remember, Saves the World was kind of funny, and I appreciate being able to turn down random encounter rate. Other than that, I don't know. The premise seems really LOL random to me. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Guess I'll find out when the episode airs. You will. It is random as hell. And from Michael Hughes, friend of the show. You sure the episode is going to be long enough for all the comments you get for this one? Yes. Yes, I am. And I got nothing from RPG Sanctuary. And from the official Laser Time community, I got 3. First from Kelly Ryan. Doing a podcast on this game next week. All of Ziboid's games are pretty cool. I need to get the latest one that combines magical girls and Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I can't find it. Like I'm on their well, I'm not on their website. I'm on Wikipedia and I don't see it under a list of their games.
I'm on Steam. I can see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell, Wiki?
What's it called again?
I just had it open. Hold on.
I might just search Z-Boy.
Yeah, you can
That
do
would
that.
probably.
This Way Madness Lies.
This Way Madness Lies. Okay, it's only $9.99.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'll probably buy that and play that next.
That's too much money for me. I'm a cheap ass. That's why I love Steam. I'm a cheap. But yeah, it's going on my wish list. I will definitely be picking this up. Hey, there's a Steam sale next week, I think. Time you're hearing this, the Steam sale might still be going. I think it's about to start soon. So, this is another RPG. Ooh, I'm in. Okay.
Ooh, yeah, this looks nice. They've upped their art game too.
Listen to us talk about this next year. Ah!
It's got like your 4 characters, kind of like Phantasy Star style, where they're kind of like you're behind the back of them and you can see their whole character. Yeah, battle screen.
Okay, I'm definitely buying this when it goes on sale.
Yeah.
And it's Christmas theme. It looks like.
Their art is gone.
Or is it Christmas? Is it winter? It looks winter. I don't know. We'll talk. We'll be doing this on the show. All right, and I have 2 more comments to read from Raymond Carrier. I had no idea they made a new version of this. I played Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death 7 back in the day. Looking at this real quick, it seems like the company rebranded from Zeboid Games to Zeboid Digital Entertainment, which is probably part of why I never found these. And last comment I'm going to read from Vincent Goodwin. That guest Vincent Goodwin sure is handsome and knowledgeable. If I was Santa Claus, I'd give him all the presents.
That's right. I agree. That commenter is smart. I like them.
But no, I really want to play this now. This Way Madness Lies looks super interesting.
Yeah. I mean, all their games, I don't know how much I'm not super into Penny Arcade anymore, and I don't know where people fall on them anymore. But I remember at the time, like they had the 2 RPGs that were big, and then they looked scaled back with Zeboid. And they look like just fine little steampunk turn-based RPGs. So, and I know they're Steam Deck compatible. So if that Steam Penny Arcade episodes 3 and 4. So every single one of their games is solid.
Into Penny Arcade.
I got into them. Oh, actually, I think I talked about this. I met them, and then they recommended their comic to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check it out someday. And because of that, they talked about some podcast. They talked about Retronaut, which I'd never heard of, and then that carried me over to Laser Time Community, where I met you, Mike. So you have Penny Arcade to thank for that. So
the way things work sometimes.
I know time is it's a circle.
I found Laser Time Community because somebody in I watched the entire OLED Super Replay group. I was asking for podcasts, and somebody recommended Laser Time, which then led me to their podcast, and then eventually I ended up in their Facebook group. I don't know how, but I think it was like, I want to hear people talk about this podcast. I really like listening to, because I'm driving a truck around at work for 10 hours at night in the dark by myself.
Right.
It's okay, Mike. I'm on the Giant Bomb group only because through the Overblood group, and I still have never listened to a single Giant Bomb podcast ever.
I tried I don't listen to many podcasts though. I have like certain ones I listen to every week. I listen to Geekbox, which is only every other week because they're weird. And they just don't care anymore. You can tell. And much as I enjoy their show, he doesn't give a shit. Ryan does not care. Anyone listens to the show that knows them, yeah, I mean, it's great. I enjoy it, but he does not give a shit. He's just like, yeah, we do this. Okay, can I be done now? And Comic Conspiracy I listen to every week. That's a good show. And then I listen to Nintendo Main now as my third one I'll listen to. And that completely unnecessary podcast. Yeah.
Right. Well, you should add Some of My Friends Read Comics to that list, hosted by
I do listen to that sometimes. I have before.
Goodwin, Chris Dobson, who's been on several episodes of yours. I don't think he has been on any episodes here, but Mike guest starred on a Metroid comic, Nintendo Power comic episode we did a couple of years ago. Yeah, that was fun. And I pivoted this into plugs.
We should go to Shelf Stacker Box, though. Get that taken care of.
We'll get 2 plugs in. Awesome. Cool.
And Joe, why don't you go first? Where did you put the Shelf Stacker Box?
Put this in the stack only because I think it's a pretty good game. I liked it, but also, why would I play this game other than Christmas? But I mean, I'd probably come back to it if I needed like a Christmas game for like if I started streaming or something. So still would go in the stack.
Okay, that's where it deserves. I'll go next. I'm also going to put this in the stack. I enjoyed myself, but like Joe said, I'm not going to play this again for a while. This is a Christmas game that is for Christmas, and I'm not. Christmas is done. Yeah, I would never touch. I won't touch it again. Maybe next year. Maybe there. I might be like, you know what? I kind of want to play it again. Like I could definitely see myself at some day going back to it because it is really fun. Yeah, definitely going in the stack. What about you, Vincent?
I'm going to shelf it because I think whenever I have a friend that's like, hey, I'm bored this weekend, I'd like to play a video game, I think Cthulhu Saves Christmas is a really good recommendation around this time of year. And I don't know if it's necessarily like the hardcore gamer set, but I think I have a string of friends that like dip in and out of video games. They're like hot and heavy on them. They'll play Stardew and like Ace Attorney for, a year and then not play video games for 5 years. And I feel like Cthulhu Saves Christmas, if it was like on Apple Arcade only during Christmas time, or Xbox Game Pass or whatever, or, any of those types of services just for the month of Christmas, I think it'd do really well for that type of gamer. And I think it's a really easy recommendation. Like it's just 5 or 6 hours. It's not like and it's not super involved. I think it's a fun game that way. I played it now in 2020 and 2022. I don't play video games. I don't replay them often. I'm delighted by it. Every time I play, I laugh at the jokes. I'm going to try the different relationships next time. Who knows? I did the post office this time. Who knows what I'll do next time? So.
But it does have New Game Plus too. If you wanted, yes. I didn't jump into that, but it does because I had to move on to the next game. But it's cool that it has that. Like I could, this is something that I agree with you. I mean, it's something you could easily recommend to people who aren't big gamers, let's say, because lack of a better term. But it's something that you could just, here, enjoy this.
Right.
Play this game that will surprise you. Yeah, I completely can see that. I think that's the right way for it too. Like it's just that type of game.
Yeah,
I just love RPGs. And especially short RPGs. I really do.
It's my undersell of like, why do people like this game? Because it doesn't ask a lot out of you, and it's not hard. It's not challenging.
But sometimes it's done quickly.
Nice. Sometimes that is nice.
I mean, sometimes I like a game that doesn't like the way I had the schedule set up. I just got done playing Metroid Dread before this, and I was so fucking exhausted and worn out from playing Metroid Dread. I'm like, I need something simple, peaceful, easy, because Metroid Dread it took me to just beat the shit out of me.
Right.
Oh, good game.
I've seen Carrie's like videos of that. He's insane at that game.
He's actually on the episode too.
I know. He's fucking great at that game.
Well, Metroid Dread is
he can
really
good.
The
best of
it's just like, and it's kind of perfect game for that. It's a perfect game to play after you just got done playing something, tough. Right. That really tested you, and then I enjoyed this, and it was just the perfect time for me. Everything worked out. And I'm not sick of Christmas yet either. That's why we're playing it. Because we covered this a week before Christmas happened.
I enjoyed playing it because the whole weekend I was on my VR headset playing Beat Saber, and my arms literally collapsed, and my head wouldn't stay stuck to my body because the headset sure does add fucking 10 pounds to your head.
Yeah, it does.
And then I got through the next day playing Resident Evil 4, which is a goddamn scare and a half because, driving a boat in OG RE4 sounds great, but driving a boat first person with one hand and operating a spear gun with the other sure doesn't fucking work. So enjoying a nice little indie RPG sure does, tone you down, make you just want to get snuggly next to your, heater in your basement.
RE4 VR sounds terrifying, though. The way
It's
you were
great.
describing it. Before
I
we
don't
started
like the
recording.
idea of a zombie that's my size. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. Chainsaw guy like that close to me. Does he bring the chainsaw like near your neck?
Oh no, you're like, I'm more concerned about getting the fuck out of there because like the whole time he was like 5 feet from me. You got pump the shotgun with both hands. It's great.
I really want VR, but VR hasn't gotten to where I'm interested yet. It's getting there, but it's not. I want VR where I like can sit down, put the headset on, and pretty much be in a different world and not have to move.
The Tetris effect in Res Infinite. You can just chill with them whales.
Or I want to be able to like move, but I'm actually moving in place. Like I want like when I went to the arcade, not arcade, but when I was a kid and go to like some festival, some like little festival thing, they'd have like the guy with the blue or yellow helmet on, and he's walking on a trackpad. Like I want that. Until then, I'm not interested.
They have that.
I know, but it's not cheap. Or
it's not cheap.
No, they had that at like my Six Flags, and you could play like Jedi Knight or Dark Forces 2. I guess it's the same title.
It is, yes.
With those VR helmets like that.
Someday. I keep telling someday I will, like you talking about VR got me interested though, Joe. Like I'm like, man, it's curious. Sometimes it makes me curious, but I also would have to play when my wife is nowhere to be found because she would, if she figured out, she would freak me the hell out on purpose.
Right. I hate my dog.
There's such cool stuff. I have like a miniature golf game where you like just like putt real peacefully. It's really cool. I have Ragnarok, which is kind of like Beat Saber, but you're on a like Viking longboat and you're like hitting drums.
Yeah. Look it up now. I need that game. I forgot that game exists. I need that game now.
That sounds much like RE7 in VR. Like I've seen videos of that, or when that came out. Like no,
I almost vomited when I saw the stuff in the fridge. I'm not gonna do that, and that was with my TV. I'm not gonna do that with VR. Are you crazy?
My sadness is that with VR, the PS2 VR is another $800. So now I'll never be able to look at Lady Dimitrescu in VR and be like, yes, that's exactly what I need.
But do you look up at her? Is she like 2 feet taller than you? What?
There's a scene.
Oh my god!
There's a scene in like 8 where like they raise you up in like handcuffs and you're like just kind of floating there. And it's like the exact scene I want to get to, but I'm like, that's never gonna happen because I don't have $800.
Is it only on the PS one?
Yes, because the PSVR 2 has eye tracking, and there was an interview earlier with a Sony representative or whatever. He's like, yeah, the PSVR 1 games don't work on 2 because the 2's headset's so much more advanced. You can't play older games on it,
which is really sad, and it's not a good. Like I get it, but it's not a good thing for consumers. Like to push your product like that, you're really your audience is gonna be very tight.
Yeah.
So, or very small, maybe is the right word, or very wealthy. It cuts down what you're looking at. I have no interest in $800. No, thank you. I didn't even want to spend $300 on my Steam Deck. I spent more.
Well, and I think you're still corded to the system. It's not wireless like the Oculus or MetaQuest or whatever it's called is.
Yeah, and I did play Beat Saber once in my life. A friend of mine had it, and I tried it. I'm like, this is kind of cool, but I feel like I'm gonna break something, like your VR, or hit something like your kid or your dog around me. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. They also have a lot of cool nature documentaries where they put like 360 cameras and you can just like chill in the ocean and like look at whales again. And they had one for the Olympics, and they just put a camera like on one of like the curling stones, and it just slid you down like a curling thing, and you just look in 360 like, yep, here I'm going. Yep, I'm going. It was really cool. So
it's a cool concept. VR is a cool concept to me. I just don't know.
I hit my dog twice.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what they get. They come up to me. I whacked him twice. I felt really bad.
Daddy's in another reality, man. You gotta stay away.
Pretty much.
You can't see this fake circle around me. That's where you can't go in.
Yeah. Oh, they'll learn how he's got the headset on. Don't go near him again. Yeah, but no, someday. I mean, when people talk about it gets me interested in VR. Like it really does.
Yeah.
And
Super Hot was cool too.
I'm just not there yet. I'm a person that's really behind in games. Like this is one of the newer games we put on the show now. Like 2019 is not exactly new, but it's newer for the show because I usually play much older stuff.
It's only game of last decade.
Actually, the newest game on the show I think is Metroid Dread 2021. That's going to stay that way for a bit because I don't have anything else. I have another game in 2021, but it's earlier 2021. But hey, when I do that freaking magical girl game that you guys just turned me on to, yeah, that's going to happen. Because I really want to play it now. And it looks like Shining Force, like the back of it, like where you see the girl, you see the back of the girl, reminds me like Shining Force when they fight. That's another game I really need to play one day and finish. I played it multiple times, never beat it. You ever play Shining Force, Vincent?
No, I'm familiar with it though, because I mean, because after my Tactic Ogre times, I was going in anything and everything, and that's when I found out about Fire Emblem coming. And then they didn't make, but Camelot, who made Mario Golf, made the Shining Force games, and Golden Sun, which I didn't like, but I know other people do.
You can listen to 3 hours of me talk about Golden Sun 1 and 2 on this show.
Yeah, I don't know if Shining Force holds up now, if it doesn't have enough quality of life to be worth trying to play these days.
I need to beat the Genesis version because a friend of mine once. I mean, I actually bought it years ago in a Genesis collection pack for PC, like Windows 95, and never finished it. And I went and replayed on my phone a few years ago. I saw on Facebook Memories, and I didn't finish it then either. And I'm like, I gotta fucking do it one day. So yeah. All right, I think that's enough stalling. I do want to introduce what we're going to be talking about next week. Next week, Joe got me to play No More Heroes, where I get to jack off my sword. So,
Nice.
That's what it looks like. So
it's what it is. There's no going around it. That's what that is.
Oh,
that is the Alec Baldwin sketch about that. SNL.
No.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how I'm enjoying I'm about halfway done with that game. I think I'm number 5. I'm on Assassin 4, so I think I'm about halfway.
Which one's 4?
I have no idea. I haven't paid. I just paid the money. I didn't play again. I just beat the one where I didn't do a fight, where they just died. And someone who thought they were Kylo Ren showed up with the same like lightsaber looking thingy. I was like, oh, you're gonna be a rival, I bet. And then I turned off the game and went and did stuff. So I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm excited to finally talk about it because I played it back in the Wii days and I have never touched it since. And now I'm playing. You got me to replay it, I got me to finish something that I've been meaning to finish.
Start, finish.
Yeah, one of the words. I've been meaning. I'm starting over, but I've always meant to play. I always meant to beat it.
Can't wait to go over all the weird fucking trivia about this fucking game.
Me either. And we have a new guest for the show. I'm excited to have on too for that game. So it should be very interesting. Very very interesting. Because it's Christmas and because I missed a couple weeks, I want to do something a little special. We have 2 codes to give away for you, right? For Steam. That's right, 2 codes, bitch. I'd get in my dumb joke. First one is This War of Mine. Steam code is B6VAYAM6T8CKDK0. And that is your code for This War of Mine. And then for the second code, I'm going to be giving away a game that I actually know about. People might actually want a Sunset Overdrive. And the code is CWQ-FD-C6-2-TXJQP5A. And that is a Steam code for Sunset Overdrive. I hope someone gets to enjoy those 2 codes. Thank you for listening. All right. And Vincent, where can people find you at?
You can find me as the author of Cthulhu, The Call of Cthulhu by Vincent Goodwin, published by Abdo Publishing from like 2012, 2013. I'm in the Library of Congress. But you can also find me at Some of My Friends Read Comics. It's a comic book podcast where we cover comics that we should have covered a long time ago. Right now, we're reading Nightfall, the Batman Nightfall. We've been recently reading a lot of Age of Apocalypse, as well as some other books. Recently, we just covered the DC Infinite Holiday Special from Holiday Crisis or something from 2006. Not very good. Would not recommend that episode as a starting point. But other episodes in the back catalog, including the Metroid Nintendo Power comic starring Mike, is a good place to go. And anything, Chris Dobson, who was like on your Perfect Dark episode, if you like his voice.
Yes, and Sandman stuff.
Yeah, he's also one of my co-hosts. He's great. So check out Some of My Friends Read Comics. That's 6 words or 5 words. Yeah.
There'll be a link in the show notes. Doesn't matter.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
And if you want to hear our Cosmic Star Heroine episode, that is episode 183. So not that long ago. That was only July of this year.
Yeah, so that's when I think I texted you about this because I was listening to that episode. And
it was.
I was like, yeah.
Well, Minish Cap, because Time Has No Meaning, was actually September 2021.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. Time has no meaning anymore.
I blame COVID.
Okay.
I do too, except COVID's. I mean, I got someone fucking recording done during COVID. It was great.
The other episodes you can find me on are episodes that have remasters announced and then canceled, like Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, and Advance Wars.
We're gonna do. Did that ever come out yet?
No, neither of them did.
It's still, I mean, Sands of Time. Yeah, I know, but Advance Wars is done.
Yeah, not coming now.
What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for Russia to just get done with their war that was pointless?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Russia is just not going to be done. Hey, gas prices went down.
Launch title. I don't know.
I really should. I thought it was out by now. I just don't give a shit. But I really thought it was out. But speaking of that, I do want to cover Warrior Within. It was almost on this season, but then I took it off, put other stuff on I wanted to cover more. But I do want to play Warrior Within finally. That's been on my backlog for like 20 years too. So one day. I say that a lot, I realize. I say the word one day a lot to myself. I tell myself I'm going to get around to this or that one day. So, yeah. And if you enjoyed this episode, go look at our giant catalog. We have over 400 other episodes. We do movies, comics, video games. We do all sorts of crap. So go listen to our giant. And if you're still listening, we have a Patreon. For little $1 you can vote in our Patreon. You have a couple days left to vote in this month's poll, which is Mike's Christmas gift. You can decide which movie we're going to cover. Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2002, Eternals, or Venom Let There Be Carnage. Which one you get to choose.
Fun fact, I checked yesterday, and as usual, Eternals is fucking losing with 0%, but everything else is now even. So
yeah, but I can move my vote to something, so we'll see what happens. I guess. Eternals is going to
the Patreon, and your vote will matter.
It will actually, because I only have the one vote to fuck with.
Yeah, I think
little $1 you can vote and affect the show, and we do have a Discord. You can join our Discord, chat with us. With people on the Discord, you can also make suggestions. I have a suggestion tab in the Discord. No one's looked at yet, but feel free to put stuff in there. And I'm actually getting around to it. Because next season, I'm actually covering multiple games that are suggestions from people like from years ago. Hopefully, they still listen. Like Paper Mario, somebody recommended. I'm doing Borderlands because someone said it like 2 years ago. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it finally. So you can suggest stuff. And I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Hasphere. You can follow her on TikTok. She went viral. So proud of her. And I want to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker, who started his own podcast, The Gamer Looks at 40. As I call it, much more professional podcast because it's a lot more professional than what I do, but it's really good. Go check him out. He interviews people how video games affect their lives. Really good show. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.